I'm not sure if you are aware, but this Saturday, our Juventus is back on the field. For all the people that didn't care about the World Cup, but that just wanted one thing, our boys back on the field, well, you don't have to wait much longer. Saturday, 7 p.m, Emirates Stadium versus the first one of the Premier League. We are speaking about Arsenal. In that video, we'll unveil you who will be there. We have some beautiful surprise. We even can unveil you the possible starting lineup. Attenzione, some beautiful surprise as I mentioned, and you will all be happy of what I will tell you. Before speaking about Arsenal, let me say hello to you. Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. I want to speak first about the women, because our women did something fantastically. And if together with me you are watching at the Tong alla Del Piero done by Giulia Grosso yesterday, it's because we were able to win versus the first one in Serie A, women versus Roma. We could potentially at a certain moment be at -9 versus Roma, thanks to the fact that we scored 4 goals and we won 4-2 yesterday. We are there at -3. We know it that we have the teams in Serie A women that at the end of the Serie A will go to playoff. Well, it's easier with a -3 that win a -9 yesterday. Fantastic performance for our women, especially Giulia Grosso with 2 assists and a goal. Since the day that she said publicly that she was working to score more goals, well, she scored 2 goals in 4 games. Fantastic Giulia from Canada, but also Berenstain with that brace, and also Girelli that after 8 games without goals, she was able to score yesterday again, the momentarily 2-1. Fantastic, congratulations to J Women. Next Gen, unfortunately, yesterday they lost 2-1 after winning 1-0. They were recuperated in the end of the game. It is what it is. Guys, if you want to know more about Juventus women, there is one thing that you have to do is download OneFootball. It's totally for free for iOS and for Android. Link is into the description. You will find articles like this one. Juventus prevail against Serie A rivals Roma in 6-goal thriller, because it was a thriller. Not only that, you can find on OneFootball also some Mercato news, like Juventus linked with another Belgian free agent. And here they are speaking about Tielemans. Not only him, but also about Thomas Meunier, that can be on a free at the end of the year. It's not the first time that we are linked with Thomas Meunier. That was already linked with Juventus before his move to Dortmund. He's there again. Thomas Meunier, what are you thinking about him? Finished player, great player, beautiful for free, but also what about Tielemans, a midfielder? Let me know in the comment what you think about these 2 potential moves, but also especially download OneFootball for free. Link is into the description. We continue because we have to speak about Arsenal versus Juventus, that big friendly that we will play on Saturday, one day before the final of the World Cup. Yes, it's true, 10 players will be missed from Arsenal. We're speaking about Gabriel Jesus, unfortunately injured during the World Cup and probably will miss the rest of the season, but also 9 other players from Arsenal, Gabriel Martinelli, for example, Saka, Ramsdale, Partey, we have Saka, White, Turner, Tomiyasu, and Saliba that is still playing with his French national team. 11 players will be missed from Juventus, or maybe we have some surprises there. Of course, not Di Maria, not Paredes, and not Rabiot, because they are still there in Qatar playing the semi-finals. Let's see if France will go to the final playing versus Morocco, and if Croatia will beat Argentina, or if Argentina will go to the final. We will discover that, but we have some smiles from La Continassa. Big smiles. Not only Moiskini's ultra performing, hat-trick in that 45-minute game, but there is another name that when we are mentioning him in La Continassa, everyone's face is going with bright lights and big smiles. We are speaking about Federico Chiesa, that worked really hard, already anticipated the 6th of December with some training, partially at home, partially at La Continassa. He wants to be secure, he wants to be sure that he will be ready for 2023 with Juventus. He trained really hard. The good news is that he's feeling 0 pain at the knee, and not only he will be there in London on the bench, but this time we can finally maybe see Federico Chiesa from the start. Of course, we will have to wait for the definitive choices of Max Allegri, but everything La Continassa is telling us that the Italian 23 years old boy with the number 7 on the back is ready for that game. By the way, he's 25, not 23. Anyway, that's not a problem. We continue because there is another one that will arrive in La Continassa. We are speaking about Dusan Vlahovic with Filip Kostic. They will be there tomorrow on Tuesday. On top of that, this week we have the Polish guys, Milik and Szczesny, and then we have Weston McKennie. What about the other ones? Well, they will come back after Christmas break, especially the Brazilian ones, and then we have to wait also for the French and the Argentinian ones. Can they travel also with the team to London? Not sure if all of them can. The 5 that will come back this week, it will be a bit short. Maybe Kostic and Vlahovic. For Vlahovic, it will be super important because there was one guy at La Continassa that will try everything to bring him back with him in London. We are speaking about Max Allegri. He wants to heal Vlahovic. First of all, with the groin pain, because when he will enter La Continassa, he will do some medical test, understanding if it's that annoying, that growing pain, that he will have to train separately together with Cuadrado and with Paul Pogba, or if he can immediately enter the group training with the team. If that's the case, well, Max Allegri wants to bring him back to the Emirates Stadium. Why? Because he wants to be there to show him that he's trusting him and that he will work also mentally on him to bring him back to the goals, because we will need the goals of Dusan Vlahovic in that second part of the season if we want to chase Napoli, if we want to finish in that top 4, and who knows, maybe dreaming a bit more for the Scudetto run. Well, Vlahovic in Arsenal, hopefully it will be the only time this season, not speaking about Europa League, but hopefully it will not be there to speak about his potential transfer, because the rumors are going everywhere. Arsenal is again on Dusan Vlahovic. At the moment, from the Juventus side, there is absolutely not an open door to let Vlahovic leave to the London team, to the Gunners, so we don't have to really speak about it now. What about the summer? Well, at the moment, Juventus, they still count on Dusan Vlahovic, and there is absolutely not a mention of him leaving Juventus. Then, of course, what will happen, we don't know. Who will play if it's not Vlahovic? Well, there is a first unveiled lineup with a 3-5-2 with Perini in the goal, 3 Italian one in the defense. We're speaking about Rugani, Bonucci and Federico Gatti, 5 men in the midfield, although there are 4 Italian ones, De Sciglio, and then the magic trio in the midfield, Fagioli, Locatelli and Miretti, the present and the future of the midfield of Juventus. On top, we have Federico Chiesa and Moiskin, the ones that are the most informed in La Continassa. What about the right side? Well, at the moment, it will be a big chance for Mattias Soulé, the only non-Italian that will probably play from the starting 11, Argentinian that didn't travel with the guys to Qatar 2022 because he comes from our youth sector, from the next gen. Well, Mattias Soulé will show the world that he can also play in a 3-5-2 going up and down. Big test for him in the Emirates Stadium. What about the future? Will we continue with that 3-5-2? A big question from all of you. Well, Gazzetta dello Sport revealed a possible revolution, tactical change from Max Allegri's side. We see it here. From January, we start again, and for real, with Allegri is ready again for a tactical revolution. They are speaking about a 3-4-1-2 that can be possibly the new formation. I want to make a separate video on that one, so put the notification ring on so that you can't miss that one. I will try to do it for later this afternoon, otherwise it will be tomorrow, but maybe this afternoon. What about the other pages? What are they saying about our beloved Juventus? Well, Corriere dello Sport, absolutely nothing. They are speaking about the magic of the Scudetto from Napoli. They are speaking about Morocco, that is in all the front pages, on the one of Corriere, but also on the one of Gazzetta dello Sport, with the 11 starters of Morocco there in the middle of the page. Are they speaking about Juve? No, except of a really small thing about the new guys that can change their teams, like Ibrahimovic for Milan or Pogba for Juventus. And then Tuttosport is speaking about another name. They're speaking about Adrien Rabiot, and that's when we speak about Mercato. If you're still there, listen to the names that we will mention, except of Tielemans already reported by OneFootball. We have to speak here with a really important key for January. What about Rabiot? Will he leave in January or not? Well, Max Allegri wants to keep him. He really wants to trust him, but he said, I also need a right back. I need someone on the right part of the field because Cuadrado is not enough. Well, he wants to keep Rabiot double page in Tuttosport saying the offer could potentially arrive from Premier League. He also opened the door to Premier League transfer, but he has no rush. He's not in a hurry. He's not obliged to leave already in January. He's feeling good at Juventus. He knows that the requests that he's asking to Juve are probably too high. Well, Max Allegri wants to speak with him individually. He wants to count on him for the 6 remaining months of the season, but also for the future. Maybe continuing with Rabiot. That's the idea of Max Allegri, because he believes that Rabiot and Pogba can play together in that midfield. He really believes in him. Not only him, all the trainers are believing in Adrien Rabiot, especially with his moment of form. Well, the salary is high. If he continues to add 10 million, probably Maxi will have to give up on his request and thinking about other players for the future. So will he remain or not? Probably yes, until the end of the season. Not the same destiny for Weston McKennie that you see here below on the page, that probably will leave, because there are already clubs on him like Monaco from France or Dortmund from the Bundesliga. There are some other players that could leave. The one from Eintracht Frankfurt that we loaned out, Luca Pellegrini, that convinced partially the German side, but apparently there is Lazio on them, with already the okay of Maurizio Sarri for the player ex-Roma, Luca Pellegrini. He could go there until the end of the season on loan, or maybe even already be sold to the team of the capital of Italy. We are speaking about Lazio. And why are they thinking about that? That can be possibly already a first idea to have Sergei Milinkovic-Savic from next season at Juventus, already starting to go lower with the price and the offer for the Serbian player that can potentially be the third one to join Juventus. What will happen with that? Well, that we will discover in the future. We already told you about the men that can potentially change the seasons of Juventus, Milan, Roma, and Inter and Napoli. Well, they speak about Ibrahimovic, they are speaking about Mkhitaryan, that is a smart, intelligent player that can fulfill every single role of the field. They are speaking about El Cholo Simeone, not El Cholo, but the son of El Cholo Simeone. So these are for the other teams. What about Juve? Well, 2 men, Chiesa and Paul Pogba. Of course, the big question mark of Juventus is the injuries. There are the injuries that were super hard in the beginning of the season, and that's probably why Max Allegri doesn't want to let Rabiot leave immediately, because if Pogba comes back with 100%, we are okay. If he's coming back and he's not 100%, we will need to continue to give credit and also trust to Adrien Rabiot. What are the future plans of Juventus? Well, on top of Tielemans from Leicester that could leave from a free, we have Marcus Thuram. Pay attention to him, even if the competition is there with Inter and with Bayern Munich. For the defense, we have Smalling. The name is continuing to be there on the list of Juve. Also him for free. And another one for free is Ndika from Frankfurt. So 2 players again for free. And then they're thinking about Guerrero and Grimaldo. The 6 players that you have here mentioned, and thanks to Mo El Shahali that reported it in the Telegram group, they have one point in common: all of them are for free. Juventus can't allow themselves to go on the market buying some players like Haaland, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. This time is over at the moment, so we'll have to be really creative with some players that can still give a lot to Juve and being for free with a bit smaller salary than what we gave in the past. Forget about names, for example, like Vardiol, that was on the mouth of everyone before the World Cup. Well, in the World Cup, he did that fantastically well, that his price rised until 100 million euros. Apparently, there is already an offer from Manchester City from 100 million plus bonus, Manchester United with 95, Chelsea with 90 million. There is an interest of Bayern Munich. Well, Guardiola would love to go to Premier League. I told you the competition with Premier League will be really, really hard in the future. So, speaking about Premier League, there is one that will come back from Premier League, and is probably Arthur at the end of the season. Good news for him, reported by Fabrizio Romano. There is Arthur that is actually feeling better, and he will probably anticipate his comeback with the Reds of Liverpool. We were waiting for him really at the end of the season, or maybe the season was over. Well, apparently he will train back with the team in December and maybe being ready to play at the end of January. Let's see what will happen with Arthur, how he will come back from his experience in Premier League. Thank you for following the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.